Hello family and friends, this is Rob the Sapper gardener, and I'm doing a hopefully a short video today, maybe a little bit longer video. Miss Linda over at the New Orleans Gardener back there has put out a guess you could say a open collaboration for gardeners to share some of the things in their garden that they grow. A lot of them are common. Stop looking at me like that, Maggie. You guys see Maggie down there? She's like, Daddy, who are you talking to? But she put out a open collaboration so gardeners can show things that they are growing in their garden that primarily are things that you can produce from common things you purchase in a grocery store. We know a lot of things going on in the world. So I'm going to show you some things in our garden. Not all of them we grew from common grocery store items, but most of them, if you buy them, you know, you eat most of them, but you can also use them. Things like sweet potatoes. We're not advocating to grow everything in your garden, because if you can buy certified things, certified seed potatoes, organic, garlic, things like that, by all means go and do that. Not everybody can do that though. So if you can't, but you can make it to a grocery store, go to the grocery store, buy you some garlic, buy you some sweet potatoes, buy you some regular potatoes, buy you some onions, buy yourself some, buy yourself whatever you can get that you can use to eat, but also to start up your garden. I mean, bunching onions, chives. There's just so many different things that you can get and you can replant. Uh, you know, the list goes on. But I'm going to take you guys out after I get off work, and I'm going to show you some of the things that we're growing, and not only things that you're growing that are straight from the grocery store like garlic, but also things that you can get seeds for, that you can grow, and then you know show a little patience, get the seeds, save the seeds, and use those to keep things going. So let me take you guys out to the garden after I get off work, and then I'll come back and then I'll close out with a couple of words. So two things that will always be on our homestead and we don't have to worry about year after year. In fact, one of them, if you can see it, we've got some chives, and these come back, and I would like to say it's the same plants year after year, but they die back and then they come. But we let some of ours go to seed. So we've got chives here, we've got chives out on our lawn, growing up in our little pebble walking area down there. And you can walk all around our property and you'll always find some chive growing. Another thing that we have let stay here, and this is the third or fourth year, is these green onions, and they'll always be with us. We always plant some out in the garden, but we try to keep some here up on our deck so that we've always got some with us whenever we need it. And we definitely would not be a Philam family, a Filipino American family, if we did not have lots of garlic. We have bought garlic online, we have gotten garlic from the store, and we plant it, we pull it out every year, we dry it, we store some, and the following year, now we haven't had to buy garlic in several years. We save some of our garlic from the year before, and then we replant it when it's time to put it in again in the fall. So this will always grow with us on our homestead. And another plant that will always be with us, whether we want it to or not, will be sorrel or sourdock. We have some here in a pot, and we have some over in a bed. And we have literally burned, vinegared, tilled this bed year after year, thinking it won't come back. And of course, it comes back. So we've given up on trying to get rid of this, and we're just going to let it stay here. We're going to weed around it so it doesn't take over the garden. And it'll always grow with us. And one thing that we do, did I mention that we've got wild alliums growing all over the property? One thing we try to do is we try to plant herbs that will come back year after year, like thyme, like sage, comfrey, which maybe not a herb, it's a medicinal. But we try to plant things that we don't have to plant year after year unless Mother Nature, kicks us in the tush, and then we come out and we have to plant it again. Another one, and I don't know too many people who don't like rhubarb pie or strawberry rhubarb pie, but ours are doing great. Year after year it comes up, we deadhead it so that we don't get too much of a spread, and it grows with us year after year. And one of the hardiest vegetables we have in our garden is horseradish. We initially got horseradish mainly to grow with our potatoes because it's supposed to help protect the potatoes from pests, even though this horseradish has a few pests of its own on it right now. But we've got it throughout the garden. It's an easy propagator. You take your horseradish, you split off some of the bulbs, you repot it or replant it someplace else. You got a new horseradish plant that comes up from it. So we don't have to do anything. Just tend to it, look at it, water it. When we want to make some horseradish sauce, we take some of the root, grind it up, mix it with a few other ingredients. We've got it. So the horseradish, it'll grow with us every year. Did I mention we have chives growing everywhere on our property? These we'll leave and we'll plant some vegetables around it, but we'll never run short on chives. And we've got comfrey on our property, and we've got it a little bit of every place. There's also some rhubarb over there if you can see it. But comfrey will always be with us. It's very hardy. We've already got a container for our comfrey tea started over there, and it'll always be on our property. And just an aside, we did 2 containers for comfrey tea last year. We used that other brewing bucket, but that brewing bucket will have a different function this year thanks to a suggestion from our friend Lead Farmer 73. We do save coffee grounds. We collect coffee grounds from other people, but we're going to do a coffee ground tea, if you will, with that bucket. So we save our coffee grounds, we save any leftover coffee, we toss it in that bucket, and then when we get ready to, we drain some out, we thin it out with water, just like we do for our comfrey tea or comfrey soup, and we add that on with our plants. And of course, we would be remiss if we did not mention that we would always grow bitter melon, because happy wife, happy life. And peppers, we grow quite an assortment of peppers, and we will always be growing peppers on our homestead. And okra, we grow several different types of okra, and one good thing about peppers, bitter melon, and okra is whether you source them from the grocery store or you grow your own, you can always save seeds, and you can always use those seeds to keep your homestead sustainable in those products and grow them again. So those will always grow with us and grow with me on our homestead. And this is probably going to sound strange coming from a Georgia boy who grew up on collard greens, turnips, mustard greens. Kale is another plant that will always be in our garden. Very easy to grow, very nutritious, looks good, has an ornamental quality to it, but we'll always have kale on our property. And you let it grow, go to seeds, you harvest the seeds, you'll always have kale on your property. So this is the second year for this kale. We expect to get seeds from it this year, and we'll save those seeds, we'll replant them, and we'll keep that cycle going so that it can grow with us on our property. Yeah, and another thing that will always be on our property, and we're thankful we planted ours when we did, are our fruit and nut trees. We've got apple trees, pecan, almonds, peaches. We've got 2 micro orchards. This is micro orchard 1 here. And the first thing we did when we moved onto our property was to invest in some fruit trees. And once your fruit trees and nut trees are mature, you'll have food for a lifetime. These are trees that will produce food for you, for your children, your grandchildren. They'll produce for a long time. So we're thankful that we did, and they're pretty reliable. This one right here in front of me and the one over there were both damaged by a falling tree a few years ago, and you almost couldn't tell it now. So fruit trees and nut trees will always be with us on our property. Chickens don't count as fruits and vegetables, but chickens will always be on our property as long as we can keep the predators away from them, that is. And of course, potatoes will always be with us. Potatoes are another one of those crops. Whether you buy it at your grocery store, you order seed potatoes online, once you get them, you plant them. If you grow enough, you save them, you store them. The next year you take some out of storage, you let them start sprouting, you replant them, and you'll always have potatoes on your property. And similar to potatoes is sweet potatoes. We have not grown or purchased sweet potatoes in probably 4 or 5 years. We did order some online because we wanted some Asian type sweet potatoes, but now we grow them, we eat them, but we always try to save at least a few so that next year we can take those sweet potatoes and then we can grow slips from them and we replant them. So it's a self-sustaining cycle. You just have to be wise with what you plant and what you store. So I'll take you down to the basement. I'll show you what we got, and I'll throw in some footage from earlier in the day on my lunch break, and you can see what we were doing. Alright, real quick break on my lunch break, listening to Backyard Gardener's live stream. She's talking about the situation. Where the heck am I at? The situation up in Michigan, which I'm not going to get into, but hopefully nobody stops people from trying to grow in their backyard or getting access to products to grow in their backyard. But Mrs. SG is back here harvesting from our sweet potato plants, which were grown all the way up.
Is this Jack and the Beanstalk thingy?
Yep, it was like Jack and the Beanstalk. It had grown up from those pots all the way up our grow shelf and was trailing along the ceiling. So we got a bucket full that we'll have for dinner tonight. Our ube over there is following suit. If you can see the purple,
Just like that.
and it'll be up on the ceiling in another week. And we also have another one, and we got those from our friend Bob at Bob Mel's Simple Living. And we got some of the sweet potatoes from our friend Colleen, and we appreciate all of them. So just a real add-on clip to let you guys see. Oh, I'm sorry for the quick cut, but I had some stuff on screen that can't be on screen even on my lunch break. So sorry for the quick cut. As I say, I'm listening to Backyard Gardener. One of the things that I like to do when I'm working, obviously I can't always watch videos, but I can listen to videos. So I'll have somebody's live stream or video playing in the background so I can listen to it while I work, actually on my work computer. So quick aside, and my lunch break is almost up. My ramen noodles are gone, so I'm gonna get back to work. Alright, family and friends, it's been a good day, a long day. It's always long when you gotta work, especially when you're sitting in front of a computer. But yeah, this is open to anyone out there in YouTube land who wants to do a video. Miss Linda has started a hashtag with me, so show some vegetables that are with you for the long haul. You know, some maybe you got them at the grocery store and you decided to plant them in your garden. Some maybe you got seeds for, but now you know you don't have to go out and buy more seeds. You plant it, you save the seeds, and you keep it growing. Mrs. SG has cleared out our sweet potatoes, so the grow shelves are still some sweet potatoes down there. And we actually grow sweet potatoes almost all year round, outside and inside. When it gets cold, we bring some in, we put them in pots because we eat the leaves, which in the Philippines are called kamote tops. But we do that, and you know, it's not impossible to grow food for yourself. Sweet potatoes can be grown inside year round. You know, onions, green onions, basil, cilantro, most herbs can be grown inside year round. And if you're creative, you can grow pretty much anything. We've got tomatoes over on our table, and if we had to, we could grow those inside. You may have to hand pollinate, or you may have to put up with the fungus gnats if you want them to do some pollination for you. But even things like peppers and tomatoes can be grown inside. So it's all about being creative and thinking outside of the box for your situation. So our situation is not going to be the same as anybody else's. We're on 2 acres and we're trying to do the best we can with it. Would we like to have 20 acres, 40 acres and a mule? We sure would, but we don't have that. So we do what we can with what we have. If you're in an apartment with a balcony, apartment no balcony, townhouse with a 20 square foot backyard like we had at our last place we lived in, you just do the best that you can with what you have. So I'm going to sit down, enjoy my adult beverage before I get to sleep and get ready for another day at work. To all you out there in the world, we like to close as always. God bless our great country, America. God bless you wherever you reside around the world, your garden, your harvest, your kitchen, your meals, and especially God bless your family. Have health, success, and prosperity as we do. Take care. One tired Sapper out. Take care.